Welcome back to They Call Me Uncle. With 2024 over, finally, we're gonna tell you what we thought about its movies, starting with Sci-Fi. We selected and logistically could only watch 3 using our patented 5-star 5-minute system. We dragged ourselves through a video game adaptation in Borderlands, a prequel of a sequel, a pre-sequel if you will, in Furiosa, and a pre-sequel of a different sort in Alien Romulus. The giant drug-addled sandworm in the room is of course Dune Part 2, but since that movie was clearly intended to be half of a gigantic 5-hour whole with Part 1, it's instead going to be featured in our full-length Dune video out later this year. This video is called The Worst Sci-Fi Movie of 2024, and on that we shall deliver. Borderlands. Borderlands. We had such high hopes for this one when it was announced, and well-justified concern when it was revealed.
Is there any way out of here that doesn't involve garbage?
No.
Uncle Morgan played them religiously with the boys on Wednesday nights for years, and knew the potential of the source material. Anyone who played the games might ask, where's Brick? Where's Mordecai and/or Bloodwing? Where's the entire upper half of Roland? Where is Lilith? Anything, really. This is supposed to be the Firehawk. In the game, she literally inspired a cult.
So I kinda inspired a cult?
The cast of the film is made up mostly of side characters like Claptrap, Tannis, and Krieg. And yes, side characters are the crowning jewel of the Borderlands franchise, but nearly all of them were miscast. And the ones that weren't seemed flat out bored with it.
I'm a bit old.
Especially fan favorite Tiny Tina, who should have come across like a grenade with the pin out, but instead came across like this.
I'm special.
Tiny Tina does not need to tell you she's special. And here's some advice for screenwriting, maybe even for life itself. If you gotta say you're special, you ain't. The focus of the games is shooting, looting, rummaging in a lot of toilets, and, excitement. All of which were suspiciously toned down in the movie, which is all the more baffling when you're saying this of Eli Roth. The director whose previous movie involved baking someone alive and serving them for Thanksgiving dinner. We understand the whole refusal of the call trope.
Come on, do the thing.
I don't think so.
But Lilith constantly denying she's a Vault Hunter in a franchise where that's kind of the point is just another symptom of a production that profoundly misunderstood the source material. Scoring it a dismal 2.72. Our second worst reviewed sci-fi movie of 2024 is Alien Romulus. Alas, the Alien franchise has had only 2 good movies, Alien and Aliens. The problem with the Alien franchise is the plot requires dumber and dumber characters to get them in the same room as the damn things. Prometheus being the biggest offender. Just run left or right, God! Uncle Morgan saw Romulus with his buddy Eric, who is so skeptical of the franchise he straight up walked out of Covenant, quote, when the stupid started.
Take a look.
Alien Romulus pleasantly surprised us. Through Fede Alvarez, Romulus brings back the dread of the original film, and considering its place in Alien's rather complicated timeline, may be the true sequel to the original, at least in tone. The cast certainly seems like they belong in a horror movie, all of them young people struggling for a better life, embodying that beloved horror trope of, if you show hope for the future, you probably won't have one,
about one night of heavy drinking, apparently.
So we'll wake up in your bargain tomorrow.
Faulty but lovable android Andy emerged as a new favorite.
Maybe it's because I'm on this seafood diet. Seafood, I eat it.
It's so bad.
Especially when a software update took him from plot device to main character. Never heard of David Johnson before, but that guy nailed it. The inclusion of the late Ian Holm through puppetry and deepfake was surprising, but the uncanny valley was successfully crossed because the character is a robot after all. Romulus makes further callbacks to those first two movies, though sometimes to its own detriment. Remember, Aliens technically hasn't happened yet, so some of these references make no sense. For example,
Get away from her. You bitch.
What about
there's
me?
maybe one or two stupid horror movie decisions. Although, who hasn't woken up from a concussion and immediately injected themselves with the first thing in arm's reach? I mean, Wednesdays, right? One callback the movie shouldn't have made was trying to make the alien hybrid a thing again. Didn't work in Resurrection, and while done better in Romulus, was still a mixed result. I made a pun. These are, however, minor flaws concentrated in the back half. An Alien Romulus is a tense, well-written entry to a franchise that badly needed one. 3.85. Finally, our, least worst reviewed sci-fi movie is Furiosa. We hesitate to call it a Mad Max Saga because Mad Max isn't really in it. And for the first full hour, neither is Anya Taylor-Joy. However, what should be a massive pacing problem is actually deliberate. It fleshes out the world of Mad Max, like the Silmarillion, only with guns and cannibals. Allegedly, one of the keys to Fury Road's success is that Furiosa was actually written first. So the two films enrich each other through hindsight and are just begging for a double feature someday. That first hour is the Chris Hemsworth Dementis show, complete with that one big-ass nose. Just look at that thing. Hemsworth has already proven his worth as a villain in movies like Perfect Getaway and Bad Times at the El Royale, with his Thor face on full display even. Hemsworth's actual wife, Elsa Pataky, gets two minor roles in Furiosa. One good, the other bad and ugly. That second hour is where Furiosa, both the character and the film itself, come into their own. This is what George Miller could have done with Road Warrior if he'd only had the budget. The action sequences are some of the best in the series. You may not have wanted a film where a bad guy gets killed by truck nuts, but by God, you're getting one. If Praetorian Jack had actually been Mad Max instead of just basically everything else about him but the name, it might have brought the whole franchise full circle. Which would have been nice because there's probably not gonna be more of them. Our issues with the film are few. As a prequel, you know who definitely has plot armor and who definitely does not. But it does make Furiosa's quest to return home all the more tragic, because you know she fails. The film also, by necessity, uses a lot more CGI than its more practical big brother Fury Road, but that did little to slow Furiosa down from scoring an even 4.0, making it so not the worst, you might even call it the best. And that's our official thoughts on Sci-Fi. Keep an eye out for our 2024 movie year in review and see where Furiosa lands on both that list and on our scoreboard. And find out what two movies were even worse than Borderlands. Scary thought. Drop us a comment with your best or worst sci-fi movie of 2024. And as always, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.
To now, not a Vault Hunter.
She's Vault Hunting.
I knew it! I told you I knew it.
Andy, can you tell me one of your jokes?
Why don't monsters eat clowns?
Because they
It
taste
tastes funny.
You are awaited.
Witness me!